Donald Trump announced last week that his administration was working on a plan to create 50-year mortgages for home buyers. The standard now, of course, is 30-year mortgage. For those who are a little bit financially better off, you can get a 15-year mortgage. But 50 years is, of course, the new plan from Donald Trump. Now, this plan was immediately met with backlash, and a lot of people were like, hey, don't worry, the guy's an idiot. He's not actually going to do this. But it was revealed over the weekend that actually, no, the White House is in fact working on a plan for 50-year mortgages here in the United States. It's not just some crazy idea Trump put on Truth Social. It's literally a thing they are trying to do, which of course will trap hundreds of millions of people in debt for their entire lives. Their entire lives. Think of it this way. If you take out a 30-year mortgage right now and you're, 28, 30 years old, even 35 years old, and that you find your forever home, right? In 30 years, so when you're 60, 65, maybe even 67, you're going to have it paid off. And then you retire, right? Because you hit retirement age, assuming in 30 years it's still the same, but you get my point. You can retire with a home that's paid off and live out your golden years. If you're 30 years old and you take out a 50-year mortgage, you're going to be paying that till you're 80, assuming you make the minimum payments every month, till you're 80 years old. So even after you retire, you're still going to be paying on that house. But more importantly, because you still have a house payment to make that's going to be astronomically higher than what you would already have because the interest rates will be much higher, you're not going to be able to retire. Trump's plan will not only put you in debt for your entire life, it will also guarantee that you can never retire. And it'll take you 2 decades before you build up any equity in that home whatsoever. That's a part that a lot of people have not discussed yet. And that's the part that does drive me the most crazy. As somebody, this is the second home my wife and I have purchased since we were married, but you have to build equity in your house. And the higher the interest rate, the higher your payments. But that doesn't mean that each month, if you pay, $2,000 or $3,000, that's coming off the principal. In the first, 10, 15, or 20 years of a 30-year mortgage, most of what you're paying each month is nothing but interest. So you're not building equity quickly at all. But if you have a 50-year mortgage, you're going to be making these astronomical payments at a much higher interest rate, and it'll be 30 years before you start taking down that principal balance. That's how that works. So again, if you buy a house at 30, you're not even going to start building equity till you're 60 at this point. So no home equity loans if you need to make major renovations or whatever it is. No HELOC, line of credit. It ain't going to happen. You will be financially screwed for your entire life if you take out one of these Trump mortgages. It gets worse. Progressive influencer Alex Cole explained it this way. A $400,000 house at 6% interest rate costs $863,000 on a 30-year mortgage. So the amount you pay is more than double. On Trump's 50-year plan, that would be $1,380,000. That's $500,000 more in interest, and Trump supporters cheering for 50-year mortgages is like turkeys cheering for Thanksgiving. So in other words, if you bought a $400,000 house at the current interest rates, by the time you pay it off in 50 years, you will have paid an extra $1 million, folks. That's how horrible Trump's plan is. But again, when you look at it from the Republicans want you to work until the second you die perspective, it makes total sense. You trap somebody in debt for their entire life, that means they can't ever retire, which means they're always going to be a member of that workforce. They'll always be there. May not be able to keep doing the same thing over the years, but you'll always have a steady supply of willing and able workers because we have saddled them with so much debt. Thanks for watching, everyone. You know, we're inching closer and closer to 1 million subscribers, and we're aiming to hit that goal before the year closes. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please do so, and don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thanks for joining us as we head towards this huge milestone.